Shalom. Greetings, everyone. This is going to be a black screen session. It's a day one lockdown journal, although lockdown doesn't actually start until tomorrow, and it's not a complete lockdown. So lockdown of certain businesses and people being urged to stay home if they're unwell, to not spread whatever they might be unwell with. Now, conspiracy theory. Virus doesn't even exist. Fact. People do infect each other with whatever it is that they have. Whether it be a cold, or the flu, whatever. There are diseases that are contagious. Fact. That just happens to be a fact. Are they passed on by viruses? Is it bacteria? Is it something else? Who knows? Is it fact that people can be made, can be infected? Yes. So, them's the facts. Persian Scribe, I see you in the chat. Greetings. Greetings to everybody. Also, greetings to Carla. Hey, Carla. Okay, so this is a lockdown journal. I'm just going to put my thoughts out there. I was originally going to call this Flat Earth Pragmatism. Or just pragmatism. I changed various different things. I know I'm going to make it this lockdown journal. I'm going to do one every day. Don't know whether I'll do them all at the same time. But yeah, instead of writing it, I'm just going to put it out there like this. because some things have started to crystallize. Okay, I'll tell you right now, guys. I saw the full moon, the most recent full moon. I saw it in the sky, high in the sky, over the roofs opposite where I live. Now, it had been a wet day, but it was a clear sky. The roofs were reflecting the light of the moon. And I pointed out to two people, never mind, two people, sorry, I've got a message. Yes, blank screen. This is blank screen. This is, you can go and carry on with your chores if you want. I'm not going to present anything to see. Back to the story with the moon. So you have houses opposite. They have roofs. And high in the sky is the moon. But on the roofs is the reflection of the moon, the moonlight. However, if you actually sit to pay attention at the angles involved, the moon's light should not have been on the roofs. It's simple geometry. The moon, at the distance it's supposed to be, shouldn't be reflecting on the roofs. Now, I've shown footage before of the sun casting curved reflections on bodies of water like lakes and oceans. The moon does the same thing. In fact, the very first time I saw that the moon's reflection is not directly vertically underneath the moon was a video by the guy who made the daytime nighttime video. So it was a personal video of his. Anyway, so this is just a simple observation that the Earth is flat and that the model of the globe is a model, but it is just a model. It's not really reflective of reality. Things are crystallizing very, very clearly. But that being said, in this hangout, and some flat earthers might resent this, if so, not really my problem, okay? But we should applaud the globe model. We should applaud it. Like, seriously. Think about what the globe model is and what it represents. It's not just representative of trying to hide more land or trying to hide God and all of those things. It's a way for humans to understand where they live. They're mistaken about it being a globe, but it's a way for them to understand where they live. And these aren't humans who went to school, were taught, see this globe, see this landmass, this is where you live. We're talking people who, for whatever reason, started off not knowing what the hell was going on or where the hell they lived, what the name of the ground they stood on was called. Who would give it a name? Sooner or later, somebody came and gave your landmass where you live a name. Before that name, it had a different name. Before that name, it hadn't even... Are you hearing me? People came, thought, okay, we'll call this land Britain. Before that, England. We'll call it whatever you want. But the point is, people started off from scratch, not knowing where the hell they live. So over time, society set up and started to study and consider, where the hell do we live? What the hell are these things in the sky? How come it's day and night? How is it that plants grow? What the hell is water? All of these things from scratch. Now I have a theory, which is everybody went underground when there was a cataclysm from the sun and the memories were erased. And I don't mean the memories were erased by some computerized system. I mean by trauma. And if not, if that's not good enough, then they came out knowing fully well what had happened, but over time, certain forces got involved in erasing history, to replace it with a different version. Mainly like the Vatican, the Roman Catholics. In fact, the Romans before that, just the Romans. What do you mean you worship this God? No, that's not that God's name, it's this other God's name. And if you don't tell me the real God's name, I'll kill you. Because I've got a sword. That kind of thing. But if you think about it, society started off out of the ground, trying to figure out where it is that we live. And considering that that's the truth, that people wanted to figure out where we live, that they arrived at a globe that gave people a sense of being, that gave people a sense of purpose, through which they could exercise commerce and travel. Never mind the discrepancies with the southern oceans, forget that. Don't travel there. If you don't want to find the discrepancies with the southern oceans, just don't go there. So, as a thought to put people's mind at ease about knowing where the hell they live, because we all know where we live. We all know our nationality, where we were born, and these are things that were passed on, that were put down. This place isn't really called Britain. Britain is just a name that we gave to it. The United States is not really called the United States. It's a landmass. It doesn't have a name. Pachamama, South America. Pachamama. That was his name before it became South America. And these are just people trying to get a sense of grounding, trying to anchor themselves so they can function without being completely and utterly bewildered all the time. In Africa, we still have tribes that call Africa ancient names. They don't call it Zimbabwe or Namibia. They call it ancient names. And those names are just made up by people before them. And they're made up to give a sense of belonging, a sense of home. Now, in more recent years, some of us have gone, if things were closer to the truth, life might be better. It might, if the powers that be, that know, started working things so that people started to get a closer glimpse at the truth, things might actually be better. So some of us have gone on a quest to try and help that along. And it is true, things would be better if people knew the truth, unless that truth is immediately traumatizing. You see, if that truth is immediately traumatizing, like for instance, if the government said, hey guys, look, in 2064 the sun will switch off. We don't know when it will come back. We don't know if it will come back over here. We don't know if we'll be under permafrost. We don't know. That's the truth, folks. Now back to work. Chances are people wouldn't just go back to work. They'd freak out. They'd want to get out of this. There would be chaos. If this came from official sources, there would be chaos. So, some truth. And then you start, which truths do you not explain? Do you not tell the people? And you end up with the situation that we're in now, which is there are government agencies that know all manner of things that don't explain it to the masses, because it's difficult to say where this final truth is. And I mean the final truth that you'll tell. There's all kinds of truths that you will not tell. Okay, so at which point is there the truth that you do tell? You won't tell this, can't tell that, can't say this because trauma, can't say this or this. We start here. Instead, they're just like, oh, well, look, we've inherited this globe Earth thing. Let's just continue with that. Let's just say to people, look, we're putting seeds in the Arctic Circle. We've got a seed bank there. That's just, just in case. In case of what? Well, Well, in case of anything, really, wouldn't it be better if we had a bunch of seeds than if we did not have a bunch of seeds? Well, suppose, but what are you expecting? We don't have to expect anything. We can just put them there. Don't need them? Great. Do need them? Wonderful. Good thing we have them. And that's the situation we're in. And now, let's say this coronavirus thing was a drill. Let's say for a minute that it was a drill. What does it mean? It means you have to behave like it's real. That's the point of a drill. You have to go to where you're allocated to go under a drill. You have to behave and engage with it as if it's real. Because if you don't, then the drill doesn't work. They have to do it again. Like really. But back to the globe. Just think of the mapping that has been conducted on Earth, of the coastlines, of the relationships between places, and that being then back engineered from the sun and the star observations. So you're at the coast of Brazil and you see when the sun arises, and then you calculate when the sun arose somewhere else and you plot it on your globe. But the coastline of Brazil, its relationship to Argentina, its relationship to Venezuela, its relationship to other places, that has been established by people regardless of whether they thought the earth was flat or a globe. It makes no difference. A mile is still a mile. A kilometre is a kilometre. Then it makes no difference whatsoever if you think it's a globe or not. None. Like zero. It's only later, when the mathematicians get a hold of it, that they mould it into a shape that they inherited. None of them created it. They inherited this spherical shape. Now, it gets to the question where you say, well, isn't there a bit of evil there in the history of humanity? You know, with people just deleting information from the past? It's like, yeah, there is. Like, there really is. Like, and some of the worst evil have been done under the name of religions. So, okay, let's be pragmatic. Right, so that happened. Now what? Because that happened, what? Does it mean that the globe that was introduced, maybe even by those evil people, does it mean that it's a trap? Or does it mean that it wasn't really created by those people? Those people just put their wing over it. It was created by people trying to figure out where the hell we live. And that's the world we live in. We live in a world where there are people convinced they know where they live, being a globe, and go about their business not freaking out. That's the purpose of the globe. Where are you? I'm here. Like, no, you're not. You give somebody a globe. Where are we now? They move the globe around. Oh, they find their location and go, just here. Like, right, okay. And that's it. With that, they're happy to go about their lives. You have to understand, the majority of the people on Earth aren't very bright. And some people might say, well, that's a result of education. They're being dumbed down. Like, no, it isn't. You can't increase somebody's intelligence by education. You can increase the range of skills, but not cognitively. The vast majority of people just aren't that freaking bright. You see, when people go out on the streets and broach subjects like flat Earth, that even the bright globe beings aren't that bright. Even people studying degrees in physics aren't that bright. Now, that's a sample of the average student studying physics. Not very bright. Now you picture everybody else who isn't even studying anything like that. Lots of them are dumber. Now, just because you're dumb doesn't mean you're worthless, obviously. It just means complex cognitive engagement isn't your thing. What does that have to do with the price of fish in China? You have all kinds of engineers that aren't that bright, but they're freaking good at engineering. So what do the controllers do? Do they say, hey guys, you know, the globe, it was just an idea. Turns out the Earth is flat and the sun's going to go out in a while and not come back, and we don't know when it will come back, if at all. You know, for any of us, we don't know. People will panic. Then they'd have to say, oh wait, we've got bases on the ground that we hope will, you know, we can use to survive, and that's where we'll shelter. And people will just freak out even more. So that's the situation we're in. I'm pretty sure that's the situation we're in. And the globe believers who are looking into this question and looking at what flat earthers say, so many flat earthers are just so full of shit. They're repeating gibberish, nonsense, all kinds of stupid things that make the globelings think, well, you're stupid for explaining what you just explained, that water falling off a ball. Dude, you must be really retarded. So they don't pay any more attention, regardless of what the example is. There's all kinds of examples. Oh look, here's a glass, I've tilted it to the side. See how the water's still horizontal? And the globeling's like, yeah, but if you went 1/4 turn around the Earth, and you did that, it would still be horizontal to you, because the ground is still underneath you on the globe. And the flat earthers like, no, they'd be upside down, because I saw a video showing somebody standing up at the north and then somebody upside down in Australia and said that's how the world would look. Like, well, maybe if you're outside of the Earth looking back, but what the hell? That's called a straw man argument. It's not even a straw man argument, it's just a very, very poor argument. So we have a situation right now on Earth where what Ronald Reagan said would bring humanity together, if we had a threat from outer space. The point wasn't, you know, aliens. The point was, if we had a threat that was threatening all of humanity, we would all come together and sing Kumbaya. Now we have that threat. You can't see me, but I'm doing heavy inverted commas. That threat. Let's see if humanity gets together. Let's see if they work together. Let's see if the majority of humanity go, right, let's see what's happening in the real world. Like, pragmatically, what's happening? Lots of people think there's a virus and the government is trying to stop this virus. Whether or not it's real, then all of these things are being put into place. And you're in that world. And you might think the virus isn't even real. And you might think the government is evil. You might think all kinds of stuff. But that's what's going on. So how do you engage with that? Lots of people might choose at a time like that to say, well, I'm not going to engage with that. That's what. I'm going to just stay at home. Then go through my food. And then try and get some more food. And that's what's being urged for people to do. People are urging, the governments are saying, hey guys, maybe better to stay at home. I received a note today through my door, okay? Persian Scribe, thank you very much. I'm going to read your comment. In fact, I'll read it now. Are you questioning our beloved governments and media? How dare you, in the voice of Greta Antonio, you iconoclast. Yes. Right, so... I received a note through my door. It's a third of a sheet of A4, cut quickly. Okay, so it's not perfectly cut. It says, hello, are you or your family self-isolating? And I'm not going to read all the details, but I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a small piece of paper. It has a phone number. It's basically saying, we... the people in this area, I'm not going to tell you where I live because, you know, stalkers, but we, the people of this area, and this is not run, there's no emblem, there's no symbol saying this is being run by a church or a community centre. It doesn't tell you who's doing this. It's a group of people who obviously aren't self-isolating, who are offering to pick up shopping, so to go shopping for people who are self-isolating, to post letters for them, or collect parcels for them. Sorry, the light's fading. Walking your dog, if you have a dog, or if you would just like a friendly chat over the phone. And there's a phone number there. And then there's a small map of places where people can go to exchange goods, or to hand over goods who might want to help. Oh, the first line it says is, sorry, let me just turn my light on. Oh, look at that new persistent cough I have. Oh no! It's not really. So, it says, hello, are you or your family self-isolating? If so, we hope we can help. No strings attached, and it's free. We will never ask for a donation, and we all live on your road or neighbouring road. This is this region. What has brought this letter? What made somebody think, hey, I know, I'll see whether anybody wants to help me to like walk people's dogs if they're not well, or maybe go and get some shopping for them, seeing as though we're all not working, and just help other people free, not to steal things from them. There's no going into anybody's houses or anything like that. What has brought this altruism out? This is altruism. What has brought this? This coronavirus. What did Reagan say would happen if there was a threat to humanity? That we would all get together, that people would get together. What is this a drill for? It's a drill to see how many people out there are complete, worthless, retarded imbeciles who will try to throw things off kilter, and how many people are benevolent people who in a case of emergency help out. What better way to single out the complete imbeciles than by saying, look, if you're not an imbecile, you'll do all these things. Not go to restaurants. Well, you can't go to restaurants because it's lockdown. You'll do these things if you're not an imbecile. And the things aren't even you'll help your neighbour. Okay? The things are you won't go round. You'll obey. That's what it's saying. You will obey. And we all, as flat earthers, hear obey and we think, whoa, that's what the Nazis did. It's like, yes, that's also why you didn't get run over when you were a child, because your parent made you obey you not running across the road. Obeying is not a bad thing. It's only if the orders are bad that obeying is bad. To obey? Kant, the philosopher, one of his maxims was about obeying your innate instinct to do the right thing. We have rules, we have personal rules. We do what we think is right. And we do that because we obey the fact that we think that thing is right and that we should act. We are obeying our own instruction. So, in the world we have this situation. What is the situation? What is it for? Well, sorry, but we're going to have to wait and look back in order to know that. Because right now, we're in the storm and we don't see where we are because we're in the storm. When the storm blows, then we'll see the layout of the land. So right now, we're in a situation where we just have to kind of wait. And time will pass and things will change, and then we'll look back and we'll know what happened. Because all the investigative journalists will come out and say, these deaths from coronavirus massively inflated. It turns out pneumonia, tuberculosis, a whole list of other things killed those people. It will turn out everything will be found afterwards. Right now, nobody's going to find shit. And me saying it's a drill is just my thought. It's not. Nobody's told me. I don't know for a fact. Nobody knows anything for a fact, including the people saying it's a virus. I watched a video earlier today. A crisis actress in a hospital telling everyone to just please self-isolate if they feel unwell. It's, for the first time ever, I thought, well, okay, I can see the merit in this. But it's a person in hospital who's got all things in her arms and stuff. She's like really in hospital. Great. And she starts coughing, but when she's coughing, she doesn't put her... She's got things, IV and stuff, in both hands, okay? She doesn't lean down towards her chest or towards her armpit, considering she's got all these things dangling off her hands. No, instead, she raises her chin and coughs right out into the world. Like, into the world. Like, oh. Why isn't she wearing a mask? She got one of those oxygen feeding tubes. Why isn't she wearing a mask? She can then cough to her heart's content. It's like, oh, very clever. So people go, oh my God, if I was there, I should have coughed. I would have got it. And then I'd have passed it to my niece. Whatever. So right now we're in a situation where the government is saying, all right, we're doing these things. You know, I'm going to tell you all the details of everything. Of course not. But this is what we're doing. And then it will pass. And then we'll go back to business. That's the situation. So what do? Do you play along? Is it an affront to your free will to play along with something that you didn't agree to? It's society. That's how society works. There are many people who have a grudge with society, especially the legal name, straw man, free man on the land. Those people. Big problem with people imposing things that you can't walk over here. Yes, I bloody can. No, you can't, because I say it's called a no walking area or whatever. The truth is, anybody who wants to be a free man on the land can be a free man on the land, apart from when you entangle with a twat, with a truncheon. Be a free man on the land all you like. And good luck to you. But sooner or later, you have to realise this is a place where there are certain red flags. And I'm not saying that the free man on the land is a red flag. I'm saying the free man on the land should walk around looking out for red flags, like guys with truncheons and inferiority complexes. So, meet one of those guys, who knows how things are going to go. But the point is, back to the point with the globe. The globe, think about this, guys, the globe is genius. It is genius. The Chaldeans, the guys who kind of took the Sumerian, Babylonian, the protractor and the cosmology and brought us the Saros cycle, those guys. They had a cylinder as their model because looked at one way, the earth is flat and a straight line. Looked at a different way, the earth is circular and might turn, or the background turns. That's what they had. The modern version is that version with an extra tweak. It's not a cylinder, it's a sphere. But for the purposes of giving a grounding to people, where they don't walk around thinking that this is just some kind of weird dream where, oh, I don't like that person, I think I'll kill them. That kind of thing. The globe is genius. All they have to do is dismiss a few discrepancies, like the location of New Zealand, because it doesn't quite match, just things that don't quite match. They just, well, don't mention him. Because in lots of respects, the globe is back engineered from the observations, just like my model. My flat Earth model with the map, with the curved longitudes and the distorted latitudes, that's back engineered from the observations. That's why it matches. Only it matches better than theirs. Because when the equinox happens in this region at this time and happens at that region at that other time, that's all I've just said, hey, look, the way this works is like this. The illumination slides to the south, slopes to the north. And the globe, in terms of giving a grounding to people, is pretty good. Now, imagine, just for a second, I said this earlier, imagine for a second that there's a, not a curfew, well, yeah, kind of a curfew on humanity to not wander outside of this pond. And that this is not imposed by people inside this pond. This is imposed by people outside this pond. Just picture that. So people say, oh, wait, so this will be then a prison. Like, what kind of prison can you go to freaking Yellowstone Park and get mauled by a bear? No, this is not a prison. This is a place where we live. But just suppose for a second that entities, beings, people, more advanced than us, outside of this pond, said, you can't come out of your pond until you've learned to behave. If that was the case, I just think it's just an excellent coincidence that they already had the globe idea. Because if they'd had a cylinder idea that went on forever, people would say, hey, there's another pond further that way on the cylinder. But instead it's a globe. So you can say, all right, yeah, just Antarctica, nothing to see. Nothing, just ice and a couple of mountains, but nothing much to see. And of course they can't say, nothing much to see. You go and see it for yourself though. And people will go, oh, okay, so I'm going to go without a permit or anything, I'll just go myself. They say, no. You can come and see all the white in these regions. Well, by the way, lots of Antarctica is no longer white, by the way. Like, serious big chunks of Antarctica are no longer covered in ice. But never mind that. So you say to people, oh, it's just ice, it's just a ball, it's ice, and you can go and see for yourselves. If people go and see for themselves, first, they die, and second, they're not really going to. But instead, just to make sure, they say, we're making it a scientific research region, so you're not allowed to go there unless you're going in a controlled, very controlled situation. And now flat earthers are saying, yeah, that's because there's ponds outside and we might find other land where we can live happy and free. That's the bit that just gets my hackles up. Happy and free. Yeah, just more land. We just go and take it. Like, well, isn't that what humans have always kind of done? Then when they've got to land, they say, free, I'll take this. Oh, yeah, that bit over there is free too. I'll go and take that too. And that, oh, some people here. Well, never mind, I'll take it anyway. And that's what humans would do. Like, that's what humans would do. Now picture these other pondlings, and here come the military, the US military. And I know you don't come here with your military, get out. And you're not coming here until you can learn to behave. So what's the government doing now? It's saying, learn to behave. And let's be frank, they're not calling martial law. They could call martial law, but they're not calling martial law. They're saying, be conscientious and behave. And hopefully after this, all that will happen is people will be more conscious and not go to bloody work or school when they've got a cold or the flu. I know people who go to work when they've got a flu and they work with other people. Hopefully what will happen after this, people will learn, you don't feel well, you don't go to work because you don't know if you might pass it on to someone who then pass it on to someone who's vulnerable. So just stay at home until you're not infectious or contagious anymore. Hopefully that's what this will result in. Because let's face it, I think that is what will happen. Because you work in an office, in a small crowded office, somebody turns up with a cold, you're going to have the cold that next week. Wouldn't it be better if that person didn't turn up with a cold? It would. So for a while, people will follow their instincts and go, oh, I need the money, I'll go into work anyway, I can be ill at work just like I can be ill at home. And they'll go to work, and their colleagues will say, get out, and don't come back till you're better. And it will make a better world. Ah, isn't that nice? Right, that's it, folks. Now I'm going to read from the chat. See stuff going on there. It looks very interesting. Dan Smith. I know somebody with the flu. I know 2 people with the flu, but it's the flu. Luckily for them, they haven't gone to get checked. They haven't panicked. Otherwise, they'd be on a coronavirus ward. And there are the local hospital has got a ward dedicated to coronavirus now. And people are dying there. Because my sister is working on that ward. People are like really dying. Except they're dying of emphysema, upper respiratory. They're dying of pre-existing conditions. They're not. Nobody's dying of. You can't die of something that doesn't exist, right? So, but people on that ward are dying, and those will be figures that will show coronavirus deaths. But it's people with emphysema. Oh, from the ones that I've heard about, emphysema and upper respiratory disease. Anyway, right, back to the chat. So I know 2 people, Stan Smith, I know 2 people with the flu. I don't know anyone with a cold right now, but I don't know anyone with a coronavirus, that's for sure. Hey, I was thinking, I think my videos aren't being shared. Like, well, yeah, of course, you go around saying things like that. It's a drill! Hey, after I did my last video, I spoke with somebody who's in the chat, and I said, I think maybe I should take it off, because, like, if it's a drill, and I'm there going, it's a drill, that's kind of ruining the drill, isn't it? Because people might go, oh, it's just a drill, da da da, go to their local pub, get infected with corona. Anyway, back to business. I'm reading the chat. Cool, Cosmic Surfer, brilliant, thanks. I'm reading a comment in Spanish. Amar es ser. Hola Antonio, una pregunta. ¿Me autoriza a hacer audiolibro de su libro de Sol para que llegue a todos? Hice un par de capítulos y lo abandoné. Amar es ser. Absolutamente, sí. Hazlo en capítulos o hazlo en un vídeo entero, o como quieras. Sí, te doy permiso. Pero no a venderlo, no lo vendes, solo para dar. Y muchísimas gracias, por cierto. Dave Hinkle, cheers everyone. Don't live in a low fear vibe. That's right. Part of the reason I made the video saying it's a drill is that I could feel that certain people were like teetering. But when you're in a big warehouse and the alarm goes off and people start running, even though it's like, don't run, the people start walking anxiously and kind of walking very fast and running, right? And then somebody says, it's a drill. Suddenly everybody carries on, does what they were supposed to do anyway, if it was a real emergency, goes outside, but without any of the panic and without the bottlenecks at the doors. And all it took was for somebody to say it was a drill. Now it turns out it wasn't a drill at all, but everybody still made it out safe, just with more smiles on their faces going, I get to not do my job for a while. Anyway, back to the chat. Amar es ser, es la primera vez que lo veo. Escribes, es la segunda vez que te lo pregunto y no me contesta. Sí, no lo había visto antes. Stan Smith, I know plenty of people though that are crapping their pants and they are fine. Yeah, they are fine. Enjoy your lunch, Dan. People in South Africa are freaking out now. Cosmic Surfer. Did you hear what I said about the levels of intelligence? Yeah. But this is the thing. When it's a drill, you have to behave like it's real. So when people start clearing out the shelves, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to engage in that, clearing out of shelves. But you notice the majority of the people doing the clearing out of shelves are women. And women think differently to men. Some women will be going, there's a bloody drill, but I'm bugger if I'm going to have no food because all these people think it's real. So they go and contribute to the scarcity by taking more too. Because they're like, no, I'm not freaking being left out. And that's how it goes. This is what I'm saying. It's you have to behave as if it's real. Anyway, back in the chat. I'm just looking. I'm really looking for anybody. And then rumours and rumours of rumours. It's all Soros. Soros is doing this. Wide awake. Hey man, how you doing? It's Soros doing this. Like, okay. And later it'd be like, oh, it wasn't Soros. Soros was just continuously used as an excuse. Like, oh, okay. And like, oh, no, it really was Soros. Like, oh, okay. Remember when Soros, that guy, remember when that wasn't Soros, but it was Kissinger, where everything was Kissinger? Yeah, I know most of you in the chat will be going, yeah, actually, now you mention it, we remember how it was all Kissinger. Now it's all Soros. Like, hey, I remember this script. And meanwhile, what happens? Well, more civilization, less death. And people are like, ah, no, but you see, Bill Gates is trying to kill everyone with vaccines. Like, okay, is he trying to kill everyone with vaccines? Well, they've been vaccinated people with tetanus injections with a hormone that stops people having a full pregnancy. And really? Like, really? Have you verified that? Because we hear so much stuff and assume that it's coming from legitimate sources, and we repeat it. We didn't do any checks. We don't know that there's a word of truth in that. But yeah, vaccinating all these people. Yeah, look at him saying, if we do this well, we can bring that number down by like 10%. And they show a clip of him saying, yeah, so if we do this well, we can bring that number down by 10%. From 15% to 5%. Go, see, they want to bring down the population of Africa from 15% to 5%. Say, no, what's the actual thing, you do dumbass? He's saying the number of infant deaths. We can bring those deaths down from 15% to 5%. But anyway. Stan Smith, seems no one knows what's going on. Isn't an interesting dude? Like, I'm thinking, wow, this is such an interesting time. Let's face it, none of us, I hope, well, no, the majority of us did not go through the Second World War. We have no idea what that was like. None. None of us have been in big revolutions, big civil wars, or anything like that. Apart from maybe, well, actually, I know one person that is. Sorry, Rolf. So, this is bloody interesting. And then when we come out of it and look back at how things are, I think we're going to think, well, isn't that interesting? And then the Christians will say, see, God can turn evil into good. He turned the coronavirus into a lot more happiness altogether in the whole world. That's what I think anyway. All Persian scribe. Acts of terror lost efficacy. So now the Event 201 pandemic is rolled out. There's an international financing reset with other agendas piggybacked. That's what I said was the drill. It's just like, hey, how can we redistribute? How can we continue? How can we continue, guys? Like China making lots and lots of stuff, getting lots of the materials for making that stuff dirt cheap. How can they continue to make that stuff and everybody continue to consume that stuff if the countries that are consuming that stuff are teetering on financial collapse? How can this machine keep turning? Well, delete the debt. Oh, okay. How do you delete the debt? Virus, and then we can study all kinds of stuff. We can see how people behave in pandemic situations, because let's not forget, there have been pandemics in the world. Like in the real world, there really have been pandemics. I live in Britain, where we had the plague. Europe had the plague. Like, it was a real thing. It wasn't a pretend thing. It wasn't made by Satanists. It was a real thing. Most diseases eventually die out of their own not volition, but you know, they have a time, they have a lifespan, and it died out. Great. But when it died out, people were already isolating, villages were isolating themselves. But a heck of a lot of people died. So if this is a drill, and there's no real serious deaths going on because of it, then it's about time we had a drill like this. Because if something does come along, like the plague, it's a good thing that we've done this drill. From now on, any plague that comes along, people are like, right, okay, yeah, I know, self-isolate. I'll just order all my food online. This time I'll just order it online. And there's Amazon saying, aha, that's how we take over the world. Let's see, if I saw my customer and nobody even knows anybody sick from the virus, yes. It's so, and when you compare notes, okay, so how many people died of this virus? Oh, this many. How many people died of other stuff? Oh, a shitload more. Like, well, why aren't we tackling that other stuff? Like, oh, because you can't run a drill on that other stuff. You can't say, right, we're going to abolish the flu. Why? Well, because we can't abolish the flu. It would be futile. But we can abolish something that doesn't quite exist. The flu's been with us for a long, long, long time. We don't know when it'll die out. But I tell you what, we can be effective against something that we make up, and we say that we beat it. So there you go. Billy was a lover of rock. What I thought Ranty's pushing the corona, same as he pushed rape allegations. Billy was that ranty guy. Oh, broken people everywhere. Broken people who say that the earth is flat. Hey, I know, I'll go and prove that the earth is flat by taking a picture at 100 meters of these things on a running track, which is not quite level, you know, because any of you who've run, only very good running tracks are level, but over the years, they start warping. But never mind the warp, it's like, I'm going to have a look at that and see if I can zoom in. So he zooms in, like, yeah, can see all of it. Thereby debunking one of his own friends. It's like, yeah, maybe don't be a dumbass and figure out that when you zoom in, you're taking in less light, and you've shifted the point from where you're taking that light from the top and the bottom of the lens to the center of the lens, which is about an inch higher. So that's equivalent to you going up maybe 2 or 3 miles. Dumbass. Anyway, never mind that. Anita, I saw that. She had a chesty cough. Who had a chesty cough? We'll have new normal, West Coast Wisdom. We will have new normal alongside old normal. Let's face it, we've got new normal now. Remember those people who say that they're both sexes? That's a new normal. Yeah, I'm a man in the mornings and a lady in the evenings. I'm a bear. I'm a wolf. I'm a squirrel. Don't look at me as shy. All that kind of gibberish. New normal. I'm just looking. Sorry, might be not very engaging, but I'm just reading through the chat. I love the conversations that go on between people where it's not actually related to whatever it is that I'm saying, but they're just like, "Hey, dude, how you doing?" You know, just people touching base with each other in chat. I think it's cool. Especially because I'm not really saying anything very significant. If I was talking about something I'd planned and meticulously worked out, then looking at the chat is massively distracting. Brother of Rock, saludos to you. Greetings. When are you going to buy this Cortina then, eh, mate? This Cortina that I never owned? Remember that? Remember when you were going around? I'm not picking on you, by the way. It has a good. There's a good end to this story. Remember when you were going around saying that I was full of shit because I don't own that Cortina? I'd just taken a photo, and it turned out no, it's mine. Back in those days, I thought that certain seriously corrupt individuals were kind, good people. And I was defending those kind, good people who were seriously corrupt individuals. There are some where you think, okay, this guy's just a straightforward paid shill. But then there are some that you think, this guy's just freaking broken and nuts. Like, this is avoid that person, you know. Anyway. Hey, by the way, so globe versus flat earth. Globelings say, like curves. And that's why we can't see things. Flat earthers say, like curves, and that's why we can't see certain things. Hey, we're saying the same thing. It's the same thing. The globalists are saying, when you can see things that the globe says you couldn't see, then it's because light is curving and that's why we can see it. And when you can't see it, it's because light has, well, kind of curved more, maybe. I don't know. Or curved less. They're not quite clear on that. Flat earthers like, no, I think when we can see more far away is when light is bending less. It's curving less. Kind of makes sense. Also matches with, like, physics. But never bring that up to a globeling. So I'm just scrolling through the chat. Billy was right. So West Coast Wisdom. Do you think TPTB are breeding billions of locusts ready for the event? I read an article recently about locusts in Pakistan and how the Chinese were helping out. Because it happens from time to time. You just get these swarms of locusts of biblical proportions. You write something about, where is it now? Damn it, my chat just jumped massively. About after locusts, other omens, and to do with the stars. Like, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how all of the ancient cultures had a system of prophecies based on the stars and observation? So you have a swarm of locusts, and the stars, or there's certain configurations of celestial light. And then there's another swarm of locusts. Oh, it's the same configuration of celestial light. And after a certain amount of time, it's like, wait a minute, we've looked at the light, and it looks like in another 2 weeks there'll be in that configuration at which we had those locust swarms, remember? I think there's going to be a locust swarm, and then there's a locust swarm. And then over time, it becomes part of their cosmology. Well, kill all those people. Say it's got nothing to do with it. And that's what happened. And it was us, the whiteys, that did that. Get over there, kill those people, delete that stuff. And I'm not saying that, maybe I shouldn't say that. Because, no, yeah, you have to. It's true. It was the whiteys. It was the Christians that did that. And they were predominantly white. But I could say it was the Italians. It was the bloody Italians did that. And then somebody will say, yeah, what about the Spanish and South America? Say, yeah, I'm Catalan. Don't blame me for that. Anyway, I'm looking in the chat. And the drug trade must be affected by this. I was having a chat about that yesterday, Danny. Like, oh, what's and I think Sasha might have mentioned this. What are heroin addicts going to do? Well, right, that's my timer, and that's enough. Enough of this hangout. I hope you enjoyed it. And Kizzy Benjamin, paracetamol sales through the roof. That's right. I mentioned in my previous hangout. You know who's raking it in? You know they keep saying, oh, all this money, we need to make money available for people. It's like, okay, it's wonderful that you can just magic money like that. That's excellent. Like, that's just brilliant. But there are certain organisations that are raking it in. Just raking it in. Supermarkets, for one, just raking it in. Spoke to a bank teller, not a bank teller, sorry, a checkout teller. Said, you must be raking it in. Oh, don't think so. And I thought, oh, you're one of those. That's why you're a bank teller. Yeah, don't think so, for God's sake. It was like a Tuesday afternoon and it was crammed. Anyway, so there are certain groups absolutely raking it in. But at the end of the deal, I'm pretty sure the government will say, right, so all of you guys who raked it in because of the coronavirus, yeah, we're taking half of that. Yeah, we've got to replace the money we magicked. We didn't tell you the details. You didn't read the small print, or you didn't notice the asterisks. You know when we said we're making all this money available? Yeah, we didn't tell you. We'll then take it off those that have been profiting from this. Yeah, we didn't tell you that. Of course not. So, there you go. Page 2 tomorrow at the Book of the Sun. Page 2. Oh, right, okay. Brilliant. Enjoy, Madam West Coast Wisdom. Right, that's it, folks. I'm bailing. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you again tomorrow for day 2, which is what West Coast Wisdom just said. Ciao. Shalom. Adeu.